This video is sponsored by Omaze, partnering with Virgin Galactic. For more details, visit omaze.com/Simandan. Phuket Word is an old adversary who we first met very early on in my YouTube career. He's popped up every now and again over the last 3.5 years, keeping us all entertained with his little experiments and theories. However, what he has recently done will baffle all of you. Phuket Word wants to acknowledge that satellites and the ISS are real, but they don't prove a spherical Earth. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Flat Earth Friday with me, Simandan. Thank you very much for joining me. Before we begin today, a massive thank you to the sponsor of today's video. I'm so excited, Omaze and Virgin Galactic. Omaze gives away one-off prizes and experiences whilst donating money to chosen charities all over the world. And they've partnered with Virgin Galactic where you right there, can win 2 seats on one of the very first Virgin Galactic flights to space. Let that soak in for a moment. You can go to space. Make history and live out your astronaut dreams on one of the first Virgin Galactic commercial space flights. You'll be flown to the home of Spaceport America in New Mexico, where you'll get a VIP tour and a hotel stay to boot. You and your guests will board a Virgin Galactic spaceship where you'll take off smoothly just like an aeroplane. Hovering over 80 kilometers above Earth, you'll see our beautiful planet like never before and experience weightlessness as you float through the cabin. Cameras will record every moment in HD with 12 circular windows for viewing. Every single seat is a window seat. And there's even a mirror to watch yourself floating through space. Following a smooth glide descent, you'll return back to Earth safely, but forever transformed. You'd be an astronaut now. The great charity Omaze are supporting is Space for Humanity, whose mission is to expand access to space, train our leaders of tomorrow, and contribute to a culture of interconnectedness. To potentially win this fantastic trip to space aboard Virgin Galactic and to support Space for Humanity, visit omaze.com/Simandan. Good luck. Right, back to today's video where Phuket Word has his eye on the ISS and why it doesn't necessarily prove the globe. This should be interesting.
Hello Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. Being able to track the ISS, the International Space Station, or satellites and see them whizzing across the sky doesn't prove that we live on a globe. You might think it does because apparently they are doing it according to the laws of Newtonian physics, where things going fast enough and high enough above a spherical Earth will perpetually orbit the Earth as they attempt to fall down.
Well, it is excellent evidence, isn't it, that we see this object orbiting our planet every 90 minutes or so. You could say it's kind of irrefutable, but I'm sure we're going to give it a bloody good try, hey me old chap.
So all you have to do really is go and look at the very first satellite that was put into orbit above the Earth by NASA and realize that this was a balloon and that nothing has actually changed since then.
The ECHO project was indeed a pair of communication satellites that went to an altitude of roughly 1,000 miles. Crucially, these spheres were inflated in orbit outside of Earth's atmosphere. They were physically launched into space.
So let's see how it's possible to have a balloon going around and around above the level Earth, acting just as we see satellites behaving, and understand that there's nothing about Newtonian physics involved. It is simply these balloons being whizzed around in the winds above the level Earth.
Oh right, so there's winds that constantly carry these satellites in a perfect circle over your flat Earth, never changing speed or altitude. Got it. Of course, the speed of the winds required to carry a satellite in a complete circle around the flat Earth within 90 minutes would be around 25,000 miles per hour. The highest speed of wind ever recorded on Earth is 231 miles per hour.
So it says here in this Britannica article, Echo, either of two experimental communications satellites launched into orbit around the Earth by the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, during the 1960s, consisting of aluminium-coated mylar balloons that were inflated after launching. The Echo satellites were passive instruments, i.e. they simply reflected radio waves back to Earth rather than actively receiving, amplifying and transmitting them.
So this straight away debunks his idea. Where are those radio waves coming from, I hear you ask? Well, perhaps from people on the globe in different locations that couldn't send a line of sight message because of, oh, I don't know, the ruddy big Earth in the way?
Nevertheless, by proving the concept of relaying radio signals through space and by demonstrating the effectiveness of current satellite tracking and other ground station technologies, they stimulated a great deal of interest in the development of active satellite communication.
Is Phuket Word here honestly using communication satellites that were designed to help people communicate on a globe as a way to show the satellites can work on a flat Earth? Amazing.
So every mention of the word satellite here is talking about a balloon. Echo 1 launched on August the 12th, 1960, inflated to a diameter of 100 feet or 30 meters. The satellite was placed in an almost circular orbit at an altitude of approximately 1,000 miles or 1,600 kilometers. At this height, it circled Earth every 2 hours. The first transmissions reflected off its surface were conducted between a terminal built by Bell Laboratories in Holmdel, New Jersey, and another terminal built by NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Goldstone, California.
California to New Jersey, a distance of around 2,300 miles. If the Earth was flat, then surely you wouldn't need that communication satellite to send that message.
Echo 1 was used for experimental telephone data and facsimile transmissions. Signals were detected in Europe, although no messages were transmitted across the ocean. The satellite remained in orbit for almost 8 years and was visible as a rapidly moving star in the evening skies. All right. There you go. Seeing exactly the same thing with satellites these days. Echo 2, launched on January the 25th, 1964, was 135 feet or about 40 meters in diameter. Its purpose largely was one of testing the dynamics of larger spacecraft, though it was also the focus of the first space venture involving cooperation between the USSR and the United States. A radio signal transmitted from the Jodrell Bank Observatory near Manchester, England, was reflected off Echo 2 and received at the Zimenki Observatory near Gorky, Russia, USSR.
A distance of around 1,750 miles.
Now Nizhny Novgorod, Russia. The satellite remained in orbit for 5 years. There you go. All right. Satellites always have been and always will be balloons whizzing around in orbits above the level Earth. As you can see on the right hand side here, we've got an illustration of the Echo 1 orbit that is projected above an azimuth projection centered on the North Pole and an azimuth projection centered on the South Pole. It doesn't dictate or confirm the actual dimensions or shape or layout of the continents on the Earth. It is just an example to show you how these orbits, as it said in this article here, are circular orbits above the Earth.
Indeed, but you can't just show some pictures of some satellites that use balloons and then state that all satellites use balloons. What about this satellite? Or even this one? And where is the balloon when people capture the awesome pictures of the ISS?
Which last for several years at a time without the need for any propulsion or any need to go along with Newtonian physics.
Of course they need propulsion. And what about your wind theory? That doesn't work. There are no winds 1,000 miles up. What powers these satellites and what directs them? How do they know where to go?
Thank you very much.
Okay, Phuket Word, we get it. There are satellites on balloons. But guess what? There are a lot of satellites not on balloons. And of course, there is the ISS. This has to be one of the weakest arguments I have ever seen in favour of flat Earth. And that's saying something, because I have seen a lot of weak arguments. But wait, it seems that Phuket Word has started making YouTube shorts. And there's one here about the orbit of the ISS. Let's check it out, shall we?
Here's the path of the ISS going around the globe. Here it is on a Mercator map. And here it is above a flat Earth going around the North Pole. And here it is going around the South Pole on the flat Earth. Take your pick.
The globe. That was easy. Well, there we go. A fascinating look at some extremely poor reasoning there from Phuket Word. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed it today, then please do like the video and subscribe as well if the feeling takes you. Just enough time to once again thank Omaze and Virgin Galactic for sponsoring today's video. Remember, visit omaze.com/SciManDan for your chance to win 2 tickets on a Virgin Galactic flight and go to space. I have been SciManDan. Have yourselves a great weekend, and I'll see you all on Tuesday where we take a look at the science of gematria. Whatever that is. See you then.